Hey everybody, it is Tech Tuesday. I'm getting a little message on my computer that my internet isn't very strong. If I have anybody watching live, can you just let me know in the comments if you're seeing and hearing me okay? I tell you what, we are so dependent on the internet. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw or noticed, there were all kinds of glitches with, I guess, the Google drives, actually their file servers. So all these applications it's running off of Google, everything was down, everything was going crazy. So I don't know if you experienced that. So if you're just hopping on, again, I'm using StreamYard, so make sure if you want me to see your name that you give StreamYard permission. And again, I'm getting a little message on my end. It says that the internet isn't very strong. So can you just let me know in the comments if you can see and hear me okay? Okay, so I have a thumbs up. All right, so that's good. So today's topic, now I don't want my tech haters to get too freaked out. Today's topic, I said that every Tuesday I'll answer some tech question that I get. I encourage you to post them in the group, but this one, somebody approached me and they wanted a little pop-up on their website that showed that they are using cookies, the whole policy statement. Now, I'm going to just start off by saying I'm not an attorney. The resources that I'm sharing, I'm not affiliated with any of them. I take no responsibility for any of them, but I found a couple of really fun, get that, technology can be fun little tool for you to use. So what I want to do is let me share my screen. And the first thing that I'm going to do is actually show you what I'm talking about so that you have a better idea. All right, so let me move this guy out of the way here, get my notes here. So when you go on a website, you see this little box down here, and it says this website uses cookies. And somewhere along the line, a law got passed or something that even though we all know everybody collects cookies, right? But the law is you have to let people know that. And for my real newbie people that don't know anything at all about technology, just a quick little side note, cookies is just basically people are gathering information, companies are gathering information that they can use later. So have you ever shopped on Amazon and you've looked at something and the next time you go back on Amazon, it shows you all of these ads. So that would be an example of a cookie. So you'll notice on my website here, and I don't know, you probably can't see it. Let me see if I can remove this banner here real quick. Hold on. Hey, glad a couple people are joining me live, so thank you. I'm going to just hide the banner here for a minute. So this box down here is what I'm talking about. And it's going to stay up there until I click on got it. All right. So that is the user experience saying, okay, I understand. So what I'm going to show you today is how can you create that fun little pop-up to use on your web pages, your funnel pages, wherever you want. And I'm going to demonstrate it both with Kartra and also Funnel Gorgeous. All right. So, and you don't have to worry about taking notes. I'll put it in the comments below. But here's this website called websitepolicies.com, and they just make it super easy for you to create this little pop-up. So that you just go through and you pick the position. Do you want the pop-up? Do you want it to be like a tooltip or a bar? So mine is a tooltip. Do I want a bottom left, bottom right? I'm going to leave mine at bottom right. The layout, I just take the default of all of these except the transparency, and we'll play with this. So here the transparency is set for 10. I almost feel like I'm coloring when I'm playing with this, okay? because you can just do whatever you want here. And if you say none, it just makes it darker. It's not showing up real well on the screen, but I think you get the idea. So I'm going to make mine a little transparent. Then I come down to colors, and look how fun this is. So this is where we get to go back to grade school and do some coloring. So we'll just pick something that we like that kind of blends in with our branding. And now you can see the transparency. So if I wanted to increase my transparency to 25%, it just kind of floats over the top. So that's under the colors. And let's go with the purple. That seems kind of fun today. And then on the cookie policy, and I'm going to talk about the cookie policy in just a minute. And oops, I turned my comments off. So again, just make sure that if you want me to see your name, you have to let StreamYard know that. Why is this doing this? Okay. So here it's saying the cookie policy, and you need to link to your policy. Now, don't freak out. If you don't have a policy statement or a privacy statement, I am going to share another cool way to do that. I just create like a subdirectory basically, and I can use this on any place that I need to include this statement. I just add this URL. The custom text, when you click on that, here it's giving us the text. This website uses cookies to ensure you get the best experience. If you want to learn more, click here. So in other words, you can change this text to anything you want. I'm going to leave it there. The link, I could, instead of learn more, I could say click here, whatever I want to do. And then the dismiss button, got it. Again, I'm simple. Let's just take everything. And then the last step is you just copy this code. And the easy thing is you just click copy. Now, let me show you my little shortcut. And again, I'm going to, I'll share this document. Anytime I'm working on something, I'll either paste it in a spreadsheet or a document. And in this document, I've got where my cookie policy lives in case I ever need it. And then I have the code that I need to paste in. So if I ever need to grab this code again, I just grab it. You don't have to worry about all the googly stuff on here. Don't stress about that. All right, so you just copy the code. It's that easy. Now, remember, it wants to know where our privacy statement or policy is. Well, you have to have one, right? And again, I'm not an attorney. I take no responsibility for which policy you're using, but there is another free site. It's called Free Privacy Policy. And I'm not going to go through it here, but basically it's the same thing. You just generate a free privacy policy, and it just asks you like 4 questions. What's your name, your company name, your email, your mailing address, because you have to include all of that in your policy statement. And then it will host it for free. So what do I mean by that? The hosting is, notice here, I have my own policy statement that's hosted on my website host, but the link would just point to this site. So you could do it either way that you want, but it will generate that, and you just grab that link. And then how do you actually create it? So first off, I'll show you in Kartra. So here's a page that I have in Kartra. If you're a Kartra user, you know you come over here to the left under settings, and then I go to tracking code. And on Kartra, I don't put it in the head only because it says it only wants JavaScript. I have to put it into what they call the body, the HTML. All right, I do that, I save it, and just like I had showed you here, I think I already turned off, so it's not going to pop up, but then it just pops up right there. How easy is that? So you just paste that code one time and you're good to go. If you use Funnel Gorgeous, it's the same thing here. So I'm in Funnel Gorgeous, and with Funnel Gorgeous, you just go up to the top And under where it says settings, so I'm on my main page, I go to tracking code. And then for this one, I can paste it right in here in the header code. There's some other tracking code up there, but it's this last one that says website policies. So that whole little paragraph of stuff, I just pasted it in there. And then when you go to do the preview, my computer again is kind of slow. Then it will just pop it up. Okay. And it might take it a minute, unless because I already declined it here. We'll see. I might not have saved it. Let me do it this way. Sometimes on the preview, if you have coding, it doesn't necessarily save it. Okay, and then there it is. All right. So let's do a, let me stop sharing here and bring my screen back. So let's just do a quick recap, and then I'll cover the questions here. Again, I'm not an attorney. I don't know what the exact law is, all that kind of stuff, but I know that somewhere along the line, we had to start acknowledging that we're collecting cookies, we're tracking, we're doing all that kind of stuff. And quite honestly, a lot of times you're not even doing anything with it, right? But to be compliant in the internet world, you need these terms and conditions, you need the privacy policy, all that kind of stuff. And most websites have something at the very bottom that people can click to. But what we went over today was just this extra little bonus. It was this pop-up. And this pop-up is right in people's face. And the best thing about using the pop-up is it makes them click the button unless they want that pop-up to continue to follow them. And when they click the button, then that means that they have acknowledged it. So nobody could come back later. I mean, they could sue you, I guess, but you know, that tracking, you know, you have evidence that you've done your due diligence. All right. Hope that makes sense. And then I also shared that place where you could go and it would give you, it's a boilerplate. You just give them your name, your email, your mailing address, the name of your company, and it creates this little policy thing for you. And then you can just link to that. I mean, how easy is that? All right. So the one question that I have live here is, it says, can you add any existing tracking code if you have more than one in FGF? So basically, in a funnel, let me talk about a funnel or even a website. Usually you have multiple pages. I'll say it that way. On your website, if you have it on that first page that they hit, that, you know, when somebody wants to learn about me at Starr Consulting, they go to Starr Consulting, that first page, that's the only place that I'm having that little pop-up load, okay? In a funnel, usually it's kind of the same thing, that they hit your landing page or your, what they call the tripwire, you know, that page with the freebie stuff, and then it puts them into the funnel and it takes them from one page to the next, one step to the next. So again, I would just have it on one page, on that first page that they come into, okay? So let me know if that makes sense. And most of these programs, most of the platforms, the ones that I support is FGF and then also Kartra, but there's other platforms and they all basically work the same way. You're just looking for the place to add that embed code and you're good to go. And most of the platforms out there allow you to have more than one embed code. So if you're running a Facebook ad, you want to embed the pixel code someplace. And so they allow you to have more than one thing. So I hope that makes sense what I'm saying there. All right. So this session was a little more techy maybe, but hopefully I've showed you how easy it is and you can't break anything. So just get in there. If you don't have a statement, just go up to that website and create one. and then just play with it and add that code. If for some reason the code doesn't work, just reach out and I'll take a quick look for you. But I think you'll have fun and you'll feel proud of yourself. Look what you just did. All right. So that's this week's question, tech question. Again, no question is too small, or, there's no such thing as a dumb question. As I always say, technology is probably not your love language. It is one of my love languages. I'm a geek. So if I don't know how to do something, I love figuring it out. So feel free to ask me the questions. And as always, just let me know what other kinds of training you'd like to see in the Facebook group. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'd love for you to subscribe to the YouTube channel also. And have a great day building your funnel and your website. All right. Take care.